my friends? Yes, welcome to another episode of Nintendo Nightcap, bringing you all your latest Nintendo news. Hope you're all well. We got 3 topics for you today. Firstly, we got to talk about the Pikmin again because they continue to kill it in Japan. Not even Pikmin 4 this time. We're going to look at the latest software and hardware numbers over there. Secondly, Nintendo's dropped a massive update for F-Zero 99. We're going to talk about that. And then the last one, the juicy one, the reason you're all here, a massive Ubisoft franchise is hitting the Switch 2 reportedly, but it's not only the game that it is, but when it's supposed to arrive that's very interesting. So we're going to get into that as well. But before we do, if you like the video, you like what you see, and you want to join the family, then why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, and that bell. Helps the channel out. And then pull up a chair, as I always say, right there, and sit with us as we do get into today's first story, which is Pikmin, because oh my days, Pikmin 4 recently killed in Japan, but now the physical editions of Pikmin 1 and 2 have entered the charts, you've guessed it, at the top, at the summit. So we're going to take a look over there now and look at the Japanese software and hardware sales numbers and see what reading they make for Nintendo. Indeed, we can see that Pikmin 1 and 2, the physical editions, has reached the summit of the charts in Japan, selling 23,000 copies. But not content with that domination, the little Pikmin in Pikmin 4 continues to hold it too, selling an additional 22,000 copies, bringing its total to over 800,000 copies in Japan alone. But if we look down the chart, we can see there's a new entry in Lies of P for the PS5. Then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is at 4, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at 5. Still in the chart, Ring Fit Adventures at 6, selling almost 3.5 million copies in total. Minecraft is at 7, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 8, Tears of the Kingdom at 9, and down the rear, Super Bomberman R2. But the good news for Nintendo does not end there, because if we look over at the hardware, we can see that it's still killing it with the Switch OLED model, selling another 54,000 units. Then it's the PS5 with 43,000 units, Switch Lite, the Switch OG at 4, PlayStation 5 Digital Edition at 5, and then all the Xboxes, the Series S at 6, the Series X at 7, the PS4 at 8, and then the good old new 2DS Double L at 9, selling 73 units. God bless its soul. But all amazing news for Nintendo, and I'm especially happy for the Pikmin, because you might have heard me say on this channel before, Pikmin 4 is my favorite game of the year. Yes, I've said it, not Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 4. So it's awesome that it seems like the massive install base of the Switch has really helped people, appreciate and get into this game and discover it. And it looks like they're reacting very well indeed. This only bodes extremely well for more games in the franchise. But what do you think? Are you a fan of the Pikmin? Are you happy it's finally getting the success it deserves? Have you never played Pikmin before? Let me know in the chat below. Right, next story up for today. F-Zero 99, yes, the free-to-play racer, if you got Nintendo Switch Online, is the game that of course was shown and shadow dropped during the last Nintendo Direct. It's the Battle Royale version of the much-loved futuristic racer F-Zero, and much like Tetris 99, you take on 99 other hooligan racers speeding down the tracks, all whilst trying not to get blown up. It's an amazing game, super addictive, and one that F-Zero fans especially, who are starving for a new game in the franchise, have swamped to. But not just them, it seems that it's a game that Nintendo fans in general are really enjoying, and Nintendo seems to know this because barely 2 weeks after the game has been released, Nintendo is dropping a sizable update for the game. They are treating us well, but what are they dropping? Well, we will be getting 5 new tracks to enjoy, and not just that, they will be available later today. The tracks that they are including are Mute City 2, Port Town 1, Red Canyon 1. Those are in normal F-Zero 99. And in the Pro tracks, we've got White Land 2 and Death Wind 2. Also, the Queen League will also begin appearing in the Grand Prix events. So there you go. I think this is amazing news, not just for F-Zero 99, but for the franchise in general. Because whilst it's awesome that Nintendo is supporting the game already so quickly and so heavily, I take that as a sure sign that the game is being well received. And not just by longtime F-Zero fans, but by Nintendo fans in general. And I always thought that F-Zero 99 was a clear method being used by Nintendo to gauge excitement and interest amongst Nintendo fans for the franchise. And the fact that it's already dropping new content tells me that people are really enjoying this in big numbers, which only means good things for a future game being released in the future. And we have seen a lot of talk about this. Just recently, the past F-Zero GX producer was talking about the franchise and saying that he thought Nintendo would revive it soon. So what do you think? Are you excited by this? Are you a new player who's never played F-Zero, but thanks to this F-Zero 99 free-to-play game have gotten into the franchise and now would be excited to play a new game? Let me know in the chat. Right then, the big story of the day. More Switch 2 rumors have landed all over the internet once again. This time though, it's concerning Ubisoft and one of its biggest franchises heading over to Nintendo's next console. That being Far Cry 7. Yes, a huge game, and this comes by way of a huge leak suffered by Ubisoft that was reported on by Insider Gaming and linked on their Twitter. We're going to get into that in a second. But in the leak, we're not going to go into crazy details, but it did say that the game was in early production and it leaked information regarding the storyline and gameplay mechanics and more. But as I said, it was reported by Insider Gaming and put on their Twitter, and it was there that known leaker Necro Felipe, who also leaked the listing for Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Switch, commented that the game would be releasing for the Switch 2, but also on the same day as the other console versions. And in fact, he even doubled down and confirmed this. If we look over there now, we can see that in fact he did reply to Insider Gaming's link and said this game will launch day one on next Switch system. And then someone asked him, I assume you mean it will have a version for Switch 2 as its launch. And he confirmed again, yeah, we'll launch day one along with other console versions. So, and for his part, other leaker and, video game commentator Stealth said to this, I see we've gotten some new Switch successor rumors. Per Necro Felipe's, Far Cry 7 is coming to Switch 2 at the same time as other platforms. He also said though, we know many devs have Switch 2 dev kits, so I'm sure we'll be hearing more and more rumors about what games are and aren't coming to it. Now, very interesting news, of course, but is it true? Could it be coming? Could it be that Far Cry 7 will be coming to the Switch? Well, it's very possible for a bunch of reasons. Firstly, Ubisoft and Nintendo have a very close relationship, and it was only very recently that the president of Ubisoft confirmed that they have been making plans for Nintendo's next console for a while. Add to that all the news that we've gotten about Nintendo showing off the consoles to developers at Gamescom and, talking about a very impressive demonstration showing the Matrix Unreal Engine 5 demo looking very, very similar to that of the PS5 version. So, and on top of that, the leaks that say that the Switch 2 will have DLSS, it certainly seems very possible that the game, of course, could run on the Switch 2, but very interesting enough is the fact that it would be releasing day one as the other versions. This is something we rarely got with AAA ports on the Switch. Why? Because the games, like Doom Eternal, need a lot more time to be polished on the Switch at the moment and end up coming out 6 months, a year later, sometimes longer. This looks like something Nintendo is looking to eradicate with its new system, and it seems as though from word that we're getting, it seems very possible indeed. So I do believe in principle the theory of Far Cry 7 coming to the Switch 2. The other side of the coin is though, would Ubisoft be confident in a game like that selling amongst a Nintendo base? That's, yet to be seen. But very interesting news nonetheless, and I'm sure we're going to get more stories like this, especially as the Switch continues to wind down. There is one thing for certain though, the fact that these rumors are intensifying as the days go by means that surely the time for Nintendo's unveiling of its next console is not too far away. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you believe these rumors? Could you see a game like Far Cry 7 on Nintendo's next console? Are you believing the rumors of the specs and the Matrix Unreal 5 engine demo? Could a game like this run on their next system? Would Ubisoft even want to release a game like this on Nintendo system, or are they safer releasing games like Mario plus Rabbids? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But my good friends, that is all the news for today. But as always, I will be back tomorrow with even more Nintendo news. I hope all of you have an awesome day, and until I see you again, have an awesome one. Bye!